Today I want to review this suction cup mount by SmallRig. And right now I've got my DJI Action 5 Pro mounted on this. I'm going to talk a little bit about the features, and then I'm going to do some video with this thing mounted on the outside of my truck and on the inside of my truck and just get my feedback and review for you. In the box, you're going to get the mount. You're going to get a suction cup cover. When you're not using it, they recommend you put this over the suction cup, and you've got some instructions that come with this. Quick look at the box for you by SmallRig, portable suction cup mount. It's the SC1K. On to the adjustments for this mount. There's a dual suction cup layer underneath the bottom of this mount, and you would press this down as hard as you can against the surface you want to attach to, and then you would push this lever down and it would suck the suction cup in. I did not do that in this case since it's attached to my touchscreen of my F250. But if you really want it to cinch down, you press down here. It's interesting though, there's enough tension here for it to hold the camera just by touching it to the touchscreen there. You've got this side adjustment knob right here, and that allows the ball to loosen here and the ball to loosen at the mount location. So then you can twist and turn up and down however you want to position your camera. It comes with a 1/4-20 underneath here, and it did come with the finger mount. So I believe it would work with either this Action 5 Pro or a GoPro or any other camera that you've got this specific type mount. If you want to take the 1/4-20 off, it is this part of the finger mount is threaded, and then this part has a stud that's coming out. So that would go into, say, a regular camera that has 1/4-20 mount threads. You can also loosen this knob here and rotate front to back depending on the type of camera that you've mounted on there. All right, I've got the camera mounted to the driver's side window of my F250. And just to show you, you want to clean this surface really good before you attach it. I've already used a window cleaner. I'll have some links for a good window cleaner in the description too if you're interested in something like that. But you can see I've got the mount in about a 90-degree arm angle and then straight up there. And I've got a tether. They recommend this if you're going to do this. They never really specify if you're going to put this on the outside of your vehicle to do this. They kind of just say if you're going to use it in your vehicle. But I did not want to lose my camera, so that's exactly why I did the tether here. And I just used like a camera style tether. I didn't modify the case in any way. I'm looped around that latch there. And I've got a piece of paracord inside the vehicle. This is the interior view from inside the truck. I've got my tether here, which is my paracord. It's just kind of cinched up into the window there, and it's attached to the top of the camera out there. And then you could see the suction cup. From what I can see on the inside, it doesn't look like there's any air trapped or anything underneath there. So I feel very confident that it's not going to come loose for that, but just to give you the idea of what it looks like from the inside of the vehicle. All right, we are recording now. I've got a microphone on me inside the truck, and the camera is outside driver's side window using the SmallRig suction cup mount. Speed is about 50 miles an hour on this road. We'll see how the wind noise is, if it's picking up on the microphone of the camera. If you haven't been part of the channel, just to let you know, I'm driving a 2023 F250, if that gives you an idea on suspension handling. So if we're seeing any vibration in the camera, this is a solid front axle and rear axle truck. This is the 7.3 liter Godzilla motor on a F250 Lariat model. So we're about 60 miles an hour right here. I'm going to purposely go down a road that has a little bit of bumps to it just to see how the mount is doing. It would definitely make me nervous if I had not attached the lanyard to the camera. It's not really moving. From my point of view, looking out of the window, the mount is not really moving, but I just don't want to risk losing that camera. The instructions, even in the SmallRig tell you the same thing like I did, to have some type of lanyard to secure your camera, even if you're going to mount this in or outside your vehicle. And I get that they can't guarantee what it's going to hold up to. They do have some recommendations on speed if you have this mounted in or out. It never really mentions to be mounted outside the vehicle, but some of that is my purpose when I have this camera. All right, so this road definitely has some bumps in it. We're going to see how the mount handles. So we're hitting some bumps there. Keep in mind how I mentioned this is a solid front axle suspension system on this F-250, so it won't be as comfortable, I would say, as independent suspension, so there could be possibility of more shakes on the camera depending on the vehicle that you have this thing connected to. Although the F-250 has a great ride. Another thing, I have the DJI Action 5 Pro camera set to wide and rock steady. So that could also affect performance depending on what type of camera you put on this mount. On the DJI Action 5, I can go up to rock steady plus. That would give me a little bit more stability, but I don't know that I'm gonna have to need it. I think the camera holds pretty well. That was a pretty big bump right there. I've got some railroad tracks we're fixing to go over, so we'll see how it's gonna handle going over the railroad tracks. And we're going about 30 miles an hour, 35 to 30 miles an hour right now. All right, we're on our way home from work, and I've got you mounted on the inside of the truck now using the SmallRig suction cup mount. To give you an idea of position, you are more over the passenger side. For the up and down position, you're about center to the windshield aiming towards me. We'll run into some bumps here on the highway just to see exactly how the mount is going to do on the inside of the truck. Speed right now, we're about 60 miles an hour. I've got some bumps coming up in just a second, so we'll see how it does on that. The camera settings, of course, you saw, this is a DJI Action 5 Pro. Settings, if I remember last, were set to wide and rock steady. We just hit a few bridge bumps there. There was a bump. Stability of the camera, though, seems to be pretty good. The mount is not really moving, and I did do pretty good on tightening down the clamp. Probably could go a little bit more, but I think it holds pretty good. Just about hand tight without trying to really grip down on it. My initial review of this suction cup mount is it's held up very well both on the inside and the outside of my truck. I think it's handled everything that I've sent to it just for these quick tests, and I'm going to continue to use this on my channel to see how it holds up. I think if you're using an action camera, this is a perfect mount. It's small enough to take with you where you're not having this big bulky mount to attach to a vehicle or any other thing that you want to attach a suction cup mount to. Hopefully this information was useful or helpful for you, and if it was, please subscribe and share, and that's to the point.